Hey, what's up? My name is Jet, and I am co-host and producer of Mornings with Nick Harcourt and Jet at the SoCal Sound. We are member-supported public radio right here in Southern California. You can support us 24/7 at thesocalsound.org. And I am joined in studio today by the Ramona Flowers, who have given me this amazing piece of vinyl, playing a couple of songs off of it too live in studio. Guys, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm really excited. So excited to hear some of the music you have to play for us too as well. But jumping right into it, I am curious. So am I correct in assuming you guys are fans of Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Absolutely.
Sam is.
Yeah, that's where it,
Yeah.
that's where it all came from, I guess. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I saw the Ramona Flowers and I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught the new animated series that they just
No, I
released.
heard that it was getting done, and so I was like, okay, this is cool.
It's really,
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
relevant.
I highly suggest watching it. So that's why I was kind of geeking out a little bit
Yeah.
over it, because I love Ramona Flowers, one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. When she, because I remember watching the movie, and then when she pops up and they introduce her in the movie, and she's like sort of beaming at the top of the stairs, and it was just a really cool
like,
moment, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. It does that whole thing, doesn't it?
Yep, exactly.
And she just looked cool, and I remember just thinking, Ramona Flowers, man, that's a cool name.
It's a dope name. It's a really cool name. I personally love it.
Yeah, cool.
I thought
Good.
it was great.
Good.
I was hoping that was the reason too, and I was like, don't ask the question and then get turned down.
No, it's definitely the reason.
Yeah.
I love it. So you guys formed in Bristol. Are you guys all from Bristol, or are you from different areas? Because I know you had answered like an advert, right?
Yeah, I'm from London, really, just
London.
just outside London. But the other boy, you're not, are you?
I live in Bristol now, but I'm not from Bristol. I'm from up north, like Game of Thrones country and that. Yeah. Yorkshire. Yeah.
Yorkshire. What about the rest
I'm
of
Bristol.
you guys?
We
Bristol?
are.
Bristol?
Yeah.
Nice, awesome. I always like to ask because my co-host is from Birmingham, so I always like to see where everyone's from. Love it. So growing up, and this is for everybody, growing up listening to music wherever you were respectively, what really, honestly, were you tuned into as kids, and did it have an effect and influence on you as you grew up, formed a band, started writing music, creating music? What kind of impact did it have?
Yeah, massive impact.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of forms your whole musical sort of journey throughout life, doesn't it? It's the beginning.
My parents are responsible.
What did they really show you when you were growing up?
Well, they're both musical, even though they're not professional musicians. My mum is a great singer, always has been an amazing singer, and still sings to this day. And she's in her 70s now. I think she's in her 70s.
Original music, or is it more so
she sings in
covering?
choirs now and
That's
things
so
like that,
cool.
just to
Same as
keep
my
going. Yeah, same as your mum. My
I
dad's
love
always
that.
played guitar.
So musical family. What about you?
No one sung.
No.
Well, no one played a note that I know in my family. But my mum's side is all of like Irish heritage, so there probably was a lot of playing in pubs and stuff when everyone had a few drinks. So maybe that's where I get it from. So yeah.
But I mean, they probably were music fans. Introduced you to some.
Yeah, it was a lot of. Well, that's all I really remember is like a lot of. There was a lot of classics really. Fleetwood Mac, Beatles, Rolling Stones. All there's just they're good taste. So it's all the classics really. So that sort of. And that's what I was into as a kid, and then a lot of bands come from that, and then got me a bit into sort of EDM and that kind of scene when that came along. So, but then I find when you get a bit older, I feel that sometimes I don't listen to those bands that are influencing me as much now. I feel like I need to go back to that.
Is it because it was maybe played too heavily, and then you kind of have to take a break from it?
Maybe,
for a minute?
yeah, because I don't think I've listened to like a Beatles record for a long time. I really should. I think I've heard they're pretty good.
Just a little.
Yeah.
A couple of points on knighthood, Well, that's it comes in all shapes and forms. I think honestly, as someone who is a music appreciator myself, I go through those phases of being gung-ho on an artist and really excited, and like maybe kind of to the point where I over listen and burn myself out, and then I need to kind of take it back, take a break. And then there are things where, like when you need a little bit of an uplift, you listen to certain music, or you're in the mood for certain things. So like for me, if I'm in a little bit of a down mood, I want to be lifted up. Sometimes I listen to depressing things like the Smiths. So it's like you're gonna have stuff like that.
I
Where
think the world's missing out now. The format that's dying, which is the format of the album. as a concept.
Yes.
That was what
Well,
that was
listening
all
to it
geared
start
You
to
listen to it
finish,
start
yeah.
to finish, and you just binge it back to front.
Yeah, it's too much choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too much
Yeah.
single on
Yeah.
single on single, and yeah, it's the hardest thing. Is you're expected to do the single thing, but the listening album, the true listening album, is really what I think a lot of people are about. That's why like you releasing this on vinyl.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
It's a fight that we still have with like internally within ourselves. That as artists, you kind of like, I know you're not going to gain anything by doing an album, and it's going to take longer, and you're going to waste a load of energy. But you still can't help yourself going, oh, this is the running order, and this is how we're going to do it all. Then you get told, no, you can't do it like that.
And then you think of it like kind of cinematically too as well, because it's like when you're listening to something, everybody has that kind of inner montage that you start going through in your head and what you're envisioning. I get that a lot with album listening.
I think
too.
also
you
think-
write like that, don't you?
I think it's great to, as an artist, when you're making music, that you're capturing that moment of time.
Yeah.
And that's what an album does, and that's why they're really special, because musically, as artists, you then move on from that. But that moment in time is what makes that particular
Snapshot,
body
isn't
of
it? Yeah.
music
Yeah.
so special, and that's why albums are special. If you don't have that, then you're kind of, there's not really, you're not anchoring that moment in time in
Kind
any
of for
way.
the sake of doing it,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a way.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. I congratulations, you guys, on the album. So this one is Gotta Get Home, right?
That's our EP.
EP, yeah.
Yes.
The EP.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it, love it. So I hear rumblings too of this year, possibly an album.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
It's all there. It's
the
all
thing
there.
is, we thought we've written loads of songs, and we're not really sure what ones are going to go on it now. So we sort of you have to wait and see whether we can just all agree on what songs are going to be on the album.
That's got to be interesting. And with your process though, when you guys are writing and you're creating these songs and you're trying to put them together to compile them for an EP, an LP, what's your process? Are you guys,
Well, we
recording separately and then putting it together when
In
you get
terms of
together?
how we record, or
Kind of just
in
in
the
general,
making of
like,
it?
yeah,
A bit of both,
are you
really.
recording stuff on an iPhone and then walking it in and saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking, or playing it for each other live and then collaborating?
It's a bit of both, really. I think.
Yeah.
I think the boys like write all the music, so they write it separately a lot when we're not together, and then when we get together, we'll listen back and work out which songs or musical beds we're kind of vibing with, and then when we develop lyrics and melodies on top of that, and then from that point, then it can develop into like its full sort of song. That's normally what we do.
Have you had that moment where, maybe one person is going in like a particular direction or they want to, and then they realize, oh, hey, you know what? I don't necessarily want to go this way, or hey, I have this idea. How about we bring this in? And it's completely just been like that light bulb moment.
What's quite nice actually is because we all write, we all produce in a way, but everyone has their own sort of distinctive style of songs that they write musically, and it's actually really nice because Dave comes in with his ideas, and and they're all great, and they sound like Dave's ideas. Ed's got his vibe,
Yeah.
and I've got my vibe, and when you sort of mix them all together, you get the perfect collection
I love
of
that.
like upbeat or then down tempo, and it's actually a really good mix.
And then we've got to try and make them sound like the
then
the
our
same.
Then you make them sound like the Ramona Flowers afterwards. But what's lovely about it is you have real variety in it, which is great.
And it's those layers though that make you a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
It
It's
gives
the
you that
combination.
identity. It's
Exactly.
like it, and that's what makes you stick out from other people that would be doing the same thing. And what I think is great, and I just have to, of course, congratulate you guys on your number 25 right now on Billboard, right?
Yeah.
Number 25. I love it
Yeah.
with Up All Night, which we're going to hear very soon. I'm very excited about that. But congratulations on that. And it's in 2K24. So you're in a
Yeah.
video game,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool with the whole Ramona Flowers connection with
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim
Yeah.
versus the world. It's very video game-esque, and that's kind of cool. Like, how does it feel to be in a video game?
It's mental. I remember because when it came out, I got the game, and you don't know when it's going to get played, right? Because it just comes on, and then suddenly you're like doing something, and then it comes on, you're like, oh my god, that's insane.
I've actually never played it.
You haven't
I've
yet?
still not played it because I don't have a console. I need to I'd like to see that.
That would be
Buy it for
Great
the bus.
moment,
Really
man.
cool.
Get someone on Twitch who's playing it and say, hey,
yeah.
record that really quick. But yeah, it's got to be
It's
so
really
cool.
cool.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get that random text from a friend who's like, oh yeah, so I was playing 2K and
Yeah.
I just like listened to Up All Night.
in the UK, it's FIFA, right? That's
Yeah.
the soccer game, and I grew up playing. I had every copy of it, like every time they brought a new one. So I found loads of bands through playing that video game.
100%. It's like
Loads
with
of
Tony
artists.
Hawk Underground. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
That was massive for so many artists coming up. It's just be featured in that or, you know, Grand Theft Auto, stuff like that.
Tony
It's
Hawk,
like
Tony Hawk
massive.
is probably another reason that I went down the music path, just playing that and listening to music and
I
then getting
love
into
it.
the bands and yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you see lots of comments on YouTube or whatever, and then you get people that are like,
Hate
you
it.
know, you get-
Some people do.
Yeah, but,
You know,
but
it's
then
funny.
you get people that are like, yeah, look, you know, I'm into rap. This is like not my scene at all, but this song is dope. You know? and
Well,
you
that's
get stuff out,
cool.
and you're like, wow, this is amazing because you're reaching people that
Yeah.
would never normally.
You get,
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
get so you get comments like, "This is why I turned the game off." I'm like,
Okay, well, I will just say it's like part of that game of just being in the public
it's
eye.
funny.
is
Yeah,
you gotta
Not
deal with
everyone's
the
gonna
trolls.
love it. Yeah.
And to be honest, sometimes the trolls are pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes,
I gotta
yeah, I
say,
think it's
I'm
funny.
like, damn, you've got jokes. You should
And
really
they
use
add
them in a better
traffic to
way.
the comments section there. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
But I'm so excited. That's congratulations, you guys. That is so cool. And then also, what was it like collaborating with Nile Rodgers? I mean, that's
Well, that was,
legend
yeah.
himself.
Surreal
It was a
experience.
crazy moment. Yeah, we were basically doing Nile copy version guitar parts when we were recording the song.
I love it.
And we labelled the tracks Nile, and so
thought,
then
Try and get him.
and then the manager was like, well, why don't, see if we can get him. And we were like, nah, it's never gonna happen. And then we got a phone call saying he loves it. He wants to speak to you, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Wild.
yeah, he
So,
phoned me up, and
That's
I was
amazing.
like, just had a mental day.
I love
where I
it,
was
the way
chatting on.
you came in. You were like, yeah, I spoke to him. And he asked me what I want to do. So I just said, get rid of everything.
Do what you want.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, so just scrap it
Yeah.
and let's go.
Go for it.
That's amazing. Well, and I will also say with the music video, as a fan of Formula One myself, I did like the
Yeah.
nod, the homage to like 70s racing
Yeah.
too in that.
Yeah.
My question is, did you get to drive any race cars? Or were you in like a volume S type situation
Yeah,
where it's like
They didn't let us go.
They wouldn't let us drive.
We were
them.
in
No.
the, we were
We were
sat
in
in the
them.
cars.
too much
yeah.
liability?
Insurance purposes, yeah, that's why. But yeah, we were in them, and it was like it was sort of a motion thing. It would move, but they're so
so
small.
cool.
Like Sam
couldn't
couldn't
even
fit in it.
My knee was hanging
you
out the door
serious?
because
Yeah,
it's
tiny.
literally like
I'm
that.
going to ruin the illusion. When you see the cars and we're driving it and they're shaking around and moving, there's
Yeah.
3 people out of
Shaking
shot, sitting on the bonnet, bouncing up and down.
See, this is the stuff that I love. I love the behind the scenes things.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like,
It was a great video,
Oh.
you know. It was a lot of fun to make, and it was kind of like sort of the end of COVID, so there's still a lot of restrictions. So we had to work around that, but and it turned out great. So
it
we're
turned
so
out
happy.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I love the like racing theme because it's so great. I'm a massive fan of
Yeah, no,
racing.
we
so.
are too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
love it.
Do you guys have? Is it controversial to say? Do you guys have like a particular team that you're behind?
Not teams, drivers. That's
Oh,
what I-
okay, what drivers?
I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. Like from day one, I've been a Lewis Hamilton fan, and now I guess Lando and George as well. They're just incredible drivers.
They're really good.
He's big
drivers.
into it.
Well, and hopefully with Ferrari, maybe he'll get put in
Yeah.
the right car.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
I'm
see.
into Ferrari. I think I've always been a Ferrari fan, really.
Yeah.
I think they're
If you're
ready
listening,
for
Ferrari, we love you, Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm a Lewis Hamilton person myself. I like Hammy. He's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful gent. Very good sportsman.
Yeah.
But so what's next in the future? We've talked about the possibility of, an album maybe this year. We'll see if it lines up right. But I know next week you've got a show in Colorado that you're doing. Anything tour-wise we're thinking for the rest of the year? Are we kind of going to take it easy, work on the album?
Well, we're going to be finishing off some songs, and so we can hopefully put that album together. And then we are going to be touring at the end of the year, but those things are all just still being decided.
But, we're doing a show with Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Oh my God,
Murder on the
that's so
Dance Floor.
great.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
We
that's-
just had that as a fresh squeezed track of the day recently.
go.
It was a really
that'll
good
be cool.
remix.
So
Yeah,
we
that'll be
got
fun.
things coming up, but yeah, we're just sort of because of the recording, we're just trying to work it all out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There are a lot of moving parts. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
lots and lots of moving parts.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to ask, what is your favorite venue of all time? If you had to say one that you've played and maybe one that you've attended, what would be your favorite venue?
Do you know what? Actually, weirdly, left field. I think my favourite venue recently, and probably because it is recent, is the Doug Fir Lounge in Portland, Oregon. I love that place.
Really?
It had real vibe, man.
I love
was
that.
a
And that's the
really
thing
cool
is like,
place.
it's
And
like
the crowd
whatever
was-
you can think of on the top of your head, because it's like, as of late, it doesn't have to be of all time. It could be just, hey, we did this and this was really fun.
For me, my favourite times of life have been stood in front of the Pyramid stage at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never been. That is on the bucket
To
list.
play,
though.
I'd probably say we played the Roundhouse in London, Camden once, which is an amazing place. That's a great venue.
That is so
Played that.
cool.
Yeah, and
We played some epic gigs in Italy,
Ooh.
outdoor gigs. Any
Oh,
outdoor
yeah,
gig
yeah.
in
When
Italy
you guys
is gonna
had like
be
a
Done some
incredible.
massive
beautiful ones, yeah.
show in
Oh, yeah.
Italy too,
100,000
like 100,000 people.
Yeah,
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 Jesus.
that was
That was
crazy.
pretty crazy.
with
Gallipoli.
Muse. Wasn't it?
On the coast in Gallipoli.
Oh, that was weird.
That was, just...
The adrenaline has to really be going at that moment. Like like when you hear that Niall's going to be on your track, that kind of surreal.
It
Like,
does.
I nearly got burnt alive though.
You didn't get some
Yeah.
fire.
with
Pyrotechnics,
pyrotechnics.
yeah.
No
They
one
didn't tell us
how
about it.
They ushered us on really fast. We did because it was like this big TV performance, and they didn't tell us that there was pyrotechnics.
Oh God.
And one of the songs at the key part, I jumped down, and just by complete luck, I was like stood in the middle, and by both my sides, they just went up, and I felt it like burn my hair, and it literally, I was
His
like.
arm was in
You're
the
like, this
chair.
is why I don't have sideburns anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Yeah.
could have been
You
disaster.
can see me in the
my
background
gosh.
just wetting myself. It's hilarious.
Be like, he's okay. All right, now die laughing.
Someone's like, "You're on fire!" Oh yeah, you are.
Like literally you're on fire. Well, I'm so excited for you guys to play some songs for us. I'm excited to hear California. I'm excited to hear Up All Night. I also love just like the kind of disco-esque feeling of that. It's very 1970s, very callback to that era, and it's just so great. I love that song. So I can't wait to hear it live, but I have to end on this because I always do. All right, so for all of you guys, I would prefer individual answers because I know they're going to vary, but 3 people, living or dead,
Okay.
musician or not, could be anyone,
Right.
that if you had to make reservations tonight for a dinner, maybe you're going to go to like Dentana's or whatever, who are you taking? 3 people. Let's start with you, Sam.
Well, it would have to be David Bowie as one of them.
Yeah,
All right.
I had you for that.
You knew I said.
So we've got
Second one, well, I don't know how much fun he would be, but obviously he's a legend, so it'd be Prince.
Yeah, I had you for that as well.
Yeah.
all right. So Sam and Dave are same
Exactly
right
the
now.
same, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's the third?
And then the third one, I'd have to say it would have to be Jimi Hendrix, I think, because that was the reason I
You went
started.
all
lot of
music.
competition
You went
in that room.
all music.
Yeah, all
You went
music.
all music.
Yeah.
You don't go,
Yeah, I was going Bowie, Prince, Freddie.
Yeah.
So
so
slightly
we've got
different,
Freddie
yeah.
Mercury and Jimmy as like the
I've got-
separates.
what
All
you
right,
say?
Ed.
I've gone off piece. I've gone like
Go on.
completely off.
What you say?
I actually going to the racing theme. Ayrton Senna. I'd like to have dinner with him.
Love it. Okay.
Being
John
fast
Lennon,
food, yeah.
because like the greatest songwriter. John Lennon, the greatest
Right, okay.
songwriter ever. And then the third one, actually, I'm a mad professional cycling fan, and I would like to sit down with Lance Armstrong and find out what exactly was going on with the doping and the drugs.
That would be a bit of a tense
done.
dinner,
Yeah.
I think, at
'Cause that
some
was-
point. So who would be getting the check at that point? I mean, I don't know.
No, Lance Armstrong, obviously.
Okay, Steve, what about you?
I would
What about you?
probably, I'd get Will Smith and Chris Rock in a room so they can work it out, and then
Are we on anniversary 1 or 2 this weekend?
and then I'd bring
Jada as well.
Amy Winehouse along, because then me and Amy could just have a few drinks and just watch it.
I just watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So you're bringing along your own entertainment.
Yeah, me and Amy just chill and see what's going on.
Oh my God, I love it. See, this is why I ask these questions, because it's so interesting. I get a different answer every single time. You guys, thank you so much.
Thanks.
And Steve, I know you're under the weather. Thank you for being a champ
No worries. Thanks.
and hanging in. And I hope you guys have a great show next week. It's in Colorado Springs. What's the venue called? Is it? It's like Volt.
Do you know it?
I have no idea.
Volt
So,
two.
I was like, I know it starts with a V, and I'm like, it's somewhere in there. It's not here locally, so
I mean, I'm still on the UK time, even though I've been here a week. I have no idea what time of day it is. Let
No.
alone no.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
co-host recently got back from the UK. Quick turnaround trip. I think he's still trying to figure out what day it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
not
Takes
easy.
a bit of time. Yeah.
Well, thanks guys. Congrats on the
Thanks a lot.
success,
Thanks
and
for having
hopefully Up All Night's going to keep climbing that Billboard chart. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to hear a few songs from you guys, including Up All Night and also California. I'm really
Yeah.
excited about. So thanks guys, and I hope to see you around soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Very much.